There you are.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm about to get started.
Well, it says you're live.
Oh, shit. Shout out to everybody because I don't know how we went live, but yeah. All right. Good start. Thank you, Solana. Welcome, everybody, to episode number 463 of the Herons podcast. And while Chris is there, and this is a nice little messy start. I don't know. Is it that early that I need some coffee? Welcome everybody to episode number 463 of the Herons podcast. An early first time we ever do a pregame. If you couldn't tell by the way the thing started, no intro or anything. I don't know what the heck just happened there. Was it Chris that got us going? Good morning, Danny and Solana. Yes, shout out to you guys and shout out to 13 Omar. I'm not a Miami fan, but I've really enjoyed listening to y'all talking Miami and had fun following Miami, but I will not be supporting Miami. Thank you both. Seriously. So shout out to you. I appreciate that you've been joining us. And that's it, man. It's a big game. Obviously, a weird start to the episode. We apologize for that. I still don't even know how I got Solana there on that little screen. So I'm going to.
Being in that little screen.
There he goes. There we go. All right. Now it feels a little more normal. I don't know why it started the way it did. I apologize. I think it's, you know what I think it is? You know that the elves on the shelves that like the kids love? I don't know why they love them because apparently they only come to just like make a mess. And today I woke up and the elf is just chilling on my microphone. I think my wife conspired and she's trying to sabotage, honestly. But
you think you sabotage Inter Miami?
No, the show.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say, come on, no, Danny. No. Come on. You can't be sabotaging Inter Miami on the biggest day in the history of their club. MLS Cup, baby. MLS Cup is here, Danny. I know it's Cafecito with the Herons. I got my matecito with the Herons.
I got my Cafecito also. And look, shout out to the loaner. Solana started his own podcast. Solana's had his own podcast for a while. It's This is Football. So make sure that you tune into that also because he talks Inter Miami and all things football. I think you had an episode yesterday where you covered the World Cup drawings. And we could touch on that today if you want also.
Because about that. Colombia, Uruguay, we got to talk a lot, man.
Yeah, man. And Colombia ended up against Portugal, possibly here in Miami. So my little bit of hope of watching Colombia here in Miami, I feel like has gone away because those tickets are going to be impossible to get. But anyway, we're here. We never do pre-games. We don't really like pre-games too much. But we've never had a championship game day. Like we are so excited. We felt like if we're going to wake up, I know that not just us. I think everybody is really hyped for today. The fact that the game starts in 7.5 hours. Like everybody needs something, right? Like we need some type of Inter Miami. So we're here to bring it to you. We're here to get you ready for the game because I know everybody is going to wake up and they're going to be hyped. They want to hear Inter Miami. They want to talk Inter Miami. And we're here for it. This is the biggest game in franchise history. You can't even there's no way around it. Like this is it. December 6th, 2025 will go down in history, whether we win or lose, as the biggest day in Inter Miami history until obviously the next biggest day. And I'm hyped for it. Solana, how you feeling?
I'm nervous, man. I'm nervous. I'm anxious. Obviously, all the feelings that come with a big game, with a final. And look, I'm not buying into all the hype, right? I'm not buying into this Messi versus Mueller. I think this is going to be a very, very attractive game for the MLS. A lot of folks are calling it the best MLS Cup matchup ever.
I think it is.
I don't know, man. I think it would have been the best MLS Cup matchup ever if it would have been LAFC Inter Miami in the final, just because of the amount of attention that Heung-min Son has brought to the league. I think Mueller, while he's brought his own pomp circumstance to the league, I don't think it's as big as Heung-min Son. And look, I know that that Mueller has made his imprint on that Vancouver team. But I don't know, man. Danny, today just seems like Inter Miami's day. It just seems like it's destined
feeling that,
Inter Miami's day. And while a lot of folks today are going to the stadium thinking that this is going to be some sort of coronation for Messi, I want to put you guys on notice. I don't think that it's going to be just a coronation for Messi. This is going to be a very tough game. Vancouver is not a team that is just going to let us walk all over them. So Inter Miami has to come out guns a-blazing since the first minute. They need to get that first goal to get them comfortable. And hopefully it is an absolute party the whole 90 minutes at Chase Stadium today.
Back to the whole hold on, we gotta, before I get to my point about the biggest game of the year of the MLS Cup. I believe in rituals. Shout out to the Vitamin Clinic. I believe in rituals. I bet against Miami versus Cincy and New York, and we win. I bet 200. I don't know, is that euros?
Euros or 200 pounds. 200 pounds.
200 pounds. Thank you. On Vancouver, hoping Miami win again. Let's give Suarez a farewell. I talked about that a couple of days ago, how I think the way the last couple of weeks have turned out, the little chance that Suarez had to come back, I think that's out the window. I don't think he's coming back. We heard some rumblings about Nacional. I think that's getting louder now over the last couple of days also. So I think Suarez doesn't come back. I think we're going to see a maybe not completely new roster, but the big names. I think we're going to see some farewells, Suarez, Busquets, and Alba, obviously. And then to the point you said about it not being the biggest game, I think that this is bigger than LAFC just because luckily Thomas Mueller's part of Vancouver, which is still a big name, not as big as Sun. But I think that Vancouver has been the best team in the West all year. Even though they didn't finish top of the West, I think they've been the best team in the West. I think Miami's been the best team in the East. And the fact that they're going to meet, you have the storyline from the Champions Cup, and then you also have even though it's a little forced, you still have that storyline of Mueller versus Messi when they played in the World Cup in 2014, and Mueller's won 7, Messi won 3. Like, I think it has so many things around it, on top of the fact that you have the World Cup coming next year, and everybody's kind of hot about the World Cup in the United States. The draw just happened. Like, there's just a lot of things going on simultaneously. 30th anniversary, 30th MLS Cup. I just think that this is the biggest MLS Cup ever.
Could be. It could be. Absolutely. You know, we've seen a lot of very good MLS Cups in the past, but this one has that star power that you don't necessarily have seen in past MLS World Cups. So absolutely. And you mentioned storylines, right? We talked a little bit about Messi, Mueller. There's a ton of storylines in this game, right? Obviously, you have Busquets and Alba. This is going to be their last professional game ever. That's a storyline that you have to talk about. The Frey versus Chelo, who's going to start at the right back? Obviously, Frey is coming back from an injury. He practiced at 100% with the team, but Chelo has played good the last couple of games. So, you know, who do you start there if you're Mascherano? Then you have Drew Fisher, who is the referee, who you have a U.S. team and a Canadian team, and you put a Canadian referee, but it doesn't stop there. He's a Canadian referee who's reffed Inter Miami 11 times. Inter Miami is 10-1-0, has not lost.
Never lost. Yep.
As a referee, and 6-0 at home with Drew Fisher as the referee. So, you know, we talked about this a little bit on This Is Football. And you know, if you're an Inter Miami fan, you have to feel confident with Drew Fisher as a referee, but you also have to be a little skeptical because, yes, he's Canadian. You would think that maybe they would bring a referee from Mexico or from Jamaica or from Trinidad and Tobago or one of those countries that would be, you know, a neutral referee. But look, Drew Fisher has been referee of the year 2 years in a row in MLS. And another stat, Danny, that you know I pulled out on the Spanish show, Drew Fisher hasn't given out one red card all season long.
They let him play. I like that.
So could he pull out his first one today? That's the question. I hope not.
Real quick, Maurice Charles saying how Thomas is not as big as Sun. Man, Maurice, I'm surprised you say that because Asia is so large and Sun is the best player to ever come out of Asia. So I think that's what we mean by he's not as big. Whether you want to talk about skill and on the pitch, that's a whole other story. I'm not going to get into that. But Thomas Mueller isn't as big in Germany as Sun is in not just Korea, but in all of Asia. So I think that's what we mean by Sun is much bigger than Thomas Mueller.
Look, Mueller is definitely the better player, but we're talking about the reach, the fan reach, and you know, the popularity. Sun is much more popular when you look at it on a worldwide scheme than Mueller is. Even though Mueller, I think, is a better player. Obviously, he won the World Cup. He's won Champions League titles. But he doesn't have that appeal that Heung-min Son does with the Asians.
Yeah. And then Delon is asking, do you think if Messi wins today, his MLS legacy is immortalized? He's already immortalized. He's going to be the first ever back-to-back MLS MVP. He started MLS 3.0. He's the reason that we changed the calendar, because I don't think the calendar changes unless Messi starts this new MLS movement. Bigger names are going to start taking this league seriously. Like Messi, he was immortalized as soon as he signed and agreed to come to MLS. Everything he's done since has just added to it. So I think that win or loss, it doesn't matter.
I saw Super Slam. Boom.
Yeah,
did you see before we get into the Super Slam?
Shout out to Sam. So much appreciated, Sam. We really appreciate you supporting the show. How realistic is it for Miami to sign another big European name? It's very realistic because one. And I'm sorry I cut you off, Solana. We have 3 DPs. 2 of them are leaving. Now we know that Rodrigo De Paul is going to take one of those, so we still have 1 open DP spot. And when you have Messi on the roster, they're going to fill up that 3rd DP spot with a big name. So not only is it realistic, it's going to happen. Now, who it is, we don't know yet. Before, the speculation was that it would be Neymar, but it seems like that's out the window, especially with his injury history. I wouldn't want to touch that just because I'd be worried that he can't stay healthy. But there is somebody.
Did you see he scored a hat trick in like 12 minutes with a torn meniscus?
Yeah. And to avoid getting relegated. Look, nobody can deny what Neymar is. It's just he just can't stop partying is what I've always heard. I don't know. I don't follow Neymar that closely, and he's always injured. So it sucks. But I would absolutely love to would have loved to see him play at a high level here. All right. So getting back to today's game, because I know and I'm going to keep saying it throughout the show. And if it gets annoying, I apologize. But I'm fucking hyped. Like, I am hyped. Okay? So I cannot wait for this. So let's talk about the opponent real quick, Vancouver. This is how they've been starting. This is how they've been setting up all playoff locks. Okay? You got Brian White up top. You have Ali Ahmed on the left. You have Sabi on the right. And you have Mueller up running as the 10. You have Sebastian Berhalter and Kubas running that double pivot. Kubas probably top 3, if not top 1, central defensive midfielders right now. And he's had one hell of a playoff run. And then defensively, you have Ocampo and Johnson out at the fullbacks. You have, it's going to be Blackman that's going to be playing because he was suspended last game. He will be game.
So they're going to start Laborda on the left. And then and Blackman will start where Laborda started last game. That's correct. So that's going to be a weakness. That's going to be a weakness for Vancouver. That left side is going to be a big weakness for Vancouver because Laborda is a righty playing lefty, and he's also a center back. And they have him playing out wide because Johnson is a 19-year-old player who has played fantastic this year. But you're going to go with the experience in a final game, and that's why they're putting Laborda at left back. So that's where Inter Miami needs to attack because Ahmed is going to be going up and attacking on that left wing. And so Inter Miami need to use Tadeo Allende. They need to use Rodrigo De Paul. And that right side for Inter Miami is going to be very, very important today.
And Takeoka, I've heard a lot of conflicting things. Some people tell me like, oh, he's really good. And other people are like, oh, he's not consistent. So I don't know what to say about Takeoka, but he will be between the sticks. I mean, I don't know what to say about Rocco. I know we have fun with the whole Rocco Blocco and everything, but would you say that he is one of the top goalies in the playoffs, right? The top, the last, let's say 2 rounds ago, the last 18, would he be like, I feel like he hasn't, and this isn't disrespect. Every time I say this, Chris is like, oh my God, you're insulting Rocco Blocco. No, I'm not. I'm giving credit to the defense. I feel like he hasn't faced a lot of shots, dangerous shots. He did have a crazy one against NYCFC that I think turned the game on its head for us, but he hasn't been tested a lot, and that's not an insult to him. That's a credit to the defense. They've been playing very well, but I'm worried what happens if he starts facing shots.
I disagree. I think he's faced a lot of shots in the playoffs. He did very well against Nashville. He did very well against Cincinnati, a team who did get quite a few shots up in the game, and he had some saves. And then I think he did very well again, against NYCFC. I think he's been solid over the last couple of months since he took over the starting spot for Ustadi. And look, I have all the faith in the world in Rocco Rios Novo. There's no reason to not believe in him after what we've seen over the last 90 days.
Is Allende back? Yeah, he never left. He was just feel a little under the weather apparently on Thursday, but it sounds like he's going to be ready to go. So don't worry about Allende, which is crazy to say, to be honest with you, because that's not what people were talking about a couple of months ago. But yeah, Allende should be back, and hopefully he's still riding that heater one more game. All right, so right now, when you look at this Vancouver lineup, that's a good 11. Sebastian Berhalter and Cubas. That's Sebastian Berhalter, underrated player in the MLS. Think of him as a poor man's Rodrigo de Paul. He can get up and down. He can create for others, and he has a beautiful precision passing. Like his crosses will hit Brian White on the top of the noggin without Brian White having to move. Cubas, great defensive midfielder. And then the dangerous part is those fullbacks. Ali Ahmed and Sabi are speed demons. They can create for themselves or others. And then off the bench, they have Ryan Gauld, which before this season, some people consider him the best player on the team. He doesn't even start for them right now. And he was at one point the best player on the team. He's still not 100% though. And then you have Jalen Nelson, which had a hot start to the season. And then Ahmed and Sabi have been playing so well that he's relegated to the bench also. So this is a deep team. Like Vancouver is a very, very good team. Even when they have to go to the bench in the 60th or 70th minute, they have some top talent players that are going to come out to the pitch.
Yeah, but so does Inter Miami, right? Inter Miami has Segovia on the bench. I mean, Inter Miami does have plenty of depth on the bench as well. I'm curious, Danny. The game's being played at 2:30 p.m. I just looked at the weather. The weather says that it's going to be 84 degrees at game time. Do you think, knowing that Vancouver plays in the Northwest, do you think that weather is going to make a difference for Vancouver in the game? It's going to be 84. It's going to be hot. Do you think that makes a difference?
Some people have been saying yes. I find it hard to believe just because I feel like it's such a perfect day. Like it's not extremely hot. It's not going to be extremely humid. It's going to be in the maybe mid to low 80s with a breeze. Like I think it's going to be like a perfect day for everybody. Like it's going to be like a really nice like spring day for Vancouver. For us, it's what basically winter looks like if you're not accustomed to Miami's weather. Like I think it's going to be the perfect day. I don't think it should affect them, to be honest with you. And they've been practicing here in FIU for the last couple of days. I'm sure that they're enjoying the weather. I don't think that.
I don't know. We'll see, man. That, let me tell you, the fact that they threw him out to FIU. FIU has a really bad stadium, a really bad field. That field is torn up.
I heard that it got tore up after practice, but Brazil has practiced there at their because it's not the actual like Pitbull Mr. 305 stadium.
No, it's the FIU soccer stadium.
Yeah.
Right. Well, the Pitbull Stadium is turf, so that's why they wouldn't play there.
Right. But I've seen Brazil practice there when they've come for friendlies, and that's where they were. And, good for them. Maybe Miami FC gave them something. La Rana Furniture FC. All right, so we went over. Oh, and shout out to Baby Erico with
320 yen.
Hey, Solana's the money guy. Biggest final this season. The whole world is watching. Yeah, well, that's why they did the start time at 2:30 because they want to make sure that other people in the world could watch it. Selfishly, I hate it because it kind of ruined my day. My daughter has a soccer game in a couple of hours, so I'm gonna try to make it by kickoff. Whatever.
I'll tell you, Danny, I agree with you. I think the MLS really fumbled here. The MLS really fumbled. They have the game at 2:30. It's going to go head-to-head with the SEC championship game. I think they should have played this tonight at 7 o'clock at night
or at 4 or 5. Like if you have a 4 o'clock start time, it's still 10 o'clock in England, or it might be, is it 5 o'clock? 5 o'clock? 5 hour difference now?
It's a 5-hour difference. Yeah.
Yes, because of the change of time. And then it would be 6 hours in Spain. Like you can still let people watch it. Like I think because last year it was at 4 o'clock. This year, look, they have Vancouver. They sold out their watch party. We're not sold out, but they have like 20,000 people going to the watch party. It's gonna be like 11 a.m. over there. Like it's wild at the start time. I'm not a fan, and like I said, it kind of messed me up a little bit. But. And then, yes, Cemex Axel at 2:30 so that the rest of the world has an opportunity to watch. Even though last year they did it at 4 o'clock, and I'm sure that they expected Messi to be in the final last year, right? Or they set it up because they had this set time for a while. Like this is they set up last week.
they would have played at 4 or at 6 or at 8, people would still wake up to watch the game. So it doesn't like you don't have to let everybody, or buy into the rest of the world. I just think that they could have put the game at any time, and it doesn't matter. It's Messi, it's Busquets, it's Alba, it's a big game. Everybody in the world who wanted to watch would have woken up at any time to watch the game.
That's true. And in Spain, and let me see who was it. I think it might have been Pedri Potter. Yeah, Pedri Potter. A lot of people from Spain are going to be watching because this is Alba and Busquets' last game, and they are legends of the game in Spain. So I am 100% sure that a bunch of people in Spain are going to be watching this game for more than just Messi. But like, this is the end of 2 legendary careers. It's going to be great, and it's going to be sad whether win or loss. Watching them walk off the pitch, it's going to be a sad. And we got another slam here. Here we go. Let's keep feet on the ground. Asif Mahmoud. We got ahead of ourselves in the U.S. Open Cup final in the past by celebrating before kickoff. Let's not concede early. Oh, no, absolutely not. Look, Vancouver's a good team. Like, when it was Nashville, for those of you that watch the show on a regular basis, and if you're new here, just hit that like and subscribe button. But if you watch this on the show, I was so confident with Nashville is that I said I'd shave my beard if we lost to Nashville. I had no doubt we would beat Nashville. Now, Cincinnati was a better opponent. That one was okay. I'm not sure. I think we should beat them in Cincinnati, but I wasn't as confident. NYCFC, I think everybody felt pretty confident. This one is kind of like the Cincinnati one. I think we'll win. I think we should win, but I don't know. Vancouver's a really, really good team. I think we have the advantage. I think if we were playing in Vancouver, I'd feel worse. But playing at home, we're a good home team. And I really do think that's good. That will be the difference when you have 2 good teams playing against each other.
Absolutely. And just I saw that question from the loaner, but also I saw Pedri say, "Ain't nobody waking up to watch MLS." Well, thank you, Pedri, for waking up and watching Cafecito with the Herons. That proves that people will wake up and watch. If you're up to watch Solana and Granada, you're going to be up to watch Messi, Busquets, Alba, Suarez, and the rest of the team. Like, come on, like really. And then who's the biggest difference maker for Vancouver? It's got to be Mueller. It has to be Mueller.
I don't think so, man.
And I will tell you why. I was on a podcast earlier this week, and I was talking to a Vancouver colleague of ours who covers the Vancouver Whitecaps, and he told me that a lot of people say possibly Cubas, Berhalter could be the biggest differences in this game because they're going to be the ones covering Messi and they're going to be the ones in the midfield. And I think that's where the game is going to be won, in the midfield. But I think Mueller, the leadership that he shows on the field, he sets up the defense, he sets up the offense. He is the coach on the field for Vancouver, for Jasper Sorensen, right? He's there to coach the team. Inter Miami has 4, sometimes 5 of those types of players on the field. And that's why I think Thomas Mueller is the biggest influence for this team. The team is going to go however he directs them. So, and the other thing is, remember, he has a hamstring injury that he picked up, a knock, in the LAFC game. He only played 68 minutes in the Western Conference Final against San Diego, and that was because they were up 3-0. So it's going to be very interesting to see what happens today and to see if he can last the full 90 minutes or possibly 120 if we end up going into overtime.
For sure. And then Pedri's saying, learn something about time difference. It's not morning where I am. We don't know where you're from, Pedri. You've never told us, so we don't know where you're from. All right. Cubas and Berhalter, I think, would be very popular answers. I think the difference, and I think what killed us a couple months ago, was the speed up the wings with Ali Ahmed and Sabi. I think that those are 2 dangerous fullbacks, and I think Ian Frey needs to start this game. I know Ian Frey pushes up a lot sometimes, but I think now with I'm blanking right now. With Sbetti and the way Allende is playing up the right side, I think Mascherano will tell Frey to relax a little bit. Don't push up so high. We have vertical threats. You don't need to push up as high. And I think Ian Frey's bigger body, the way he bodies people off the ball, I think he would be better than Chelo defending Ali Ahmed on the right side and then Savi down the left. I think that the fact that Luis Suarez hasn't been starting has helped defensively because Silbetti has been assisting with the defense. Jordi Alba isn't pushing up as high as often. So there isn't as much space in behind. And we need to make sure that we clear up that we have those spaces secured, because Ahmed and Sabi, their attack is often predicated by the speed up the wings and then whipping it into Brian White, which is a finisher. Now, Thomas Mueller obviously is quite the cerebral player down that middle, but I think that the X factors are the wings and how we're going to defend them.
I agree, man. I mean, you make really good points, right? You make really good points, and that just goes to show that we can name a handful of players from this Vancouver squad that can possibly make a difference in the final. So look, going back to what you said, Vancouver's going to be a tough team. This is not going to be a walk in the park. This is not going to be a coronation ceremony where the fans show up to the stadium and we are just automatically believing that we are going to win. This is going to be a tough game. The boys are going to have to show up today. Messi is going to have to show up today. And it's going to be a tough one. I know I predicted 3-1 on Garzas and on all the other shows that we've. I mean, it's been a crazy week, Danny. Have you? I don't know if it's been crazy for you, but I've been on tons of shows all week, and I assume that you have too. But everywhere I go, I've stuck to my guns. I've said 3-1 Inter Miami. I've said 2 goals from Messi, 1 from Tadeo Allende. If you haven't gone ahead and bet on a Tadeo Allende anytime goal, he's at plus 145. It is a hell of a bet.
He'll break the record for most goals in a playoff.
I know. Did you know? And Javi said, I know you weren't with us on Garzas this week, but Javi said that he spoke to Tadeo in the mix zone after the game, and he told him, "Hey, by the way, you tied the MLS record for most goals in the playoffs." And he was like, "What? Really? That's unbelievable." This and that. And Javi didn't know. He didn't want to get the name wrong because he knew it was a Carlos, but he didn't know it was Carlos Ruiz.
Carlito Ruiz. He kept saying Carlos Vela.
Yeah, he kept saying Carlos Vela. So, I mean, look, it's been a magical playoff run for Tadeo Allende. And even just before the playoffs, he started to pick up pace. And I think he's going to be one of the key players for Inter Miami today in the game.
The loner, Danny, most of the people watching right now are not American. I know. And that's what we like to do these morning shows is because we usually get a different set of viewers live than we usually do in the nighttime. So shout out to everybody that isn't here in the United States that's watching. We appreciate you guys hanging out with us and getting ready, man, because the Goosies are starting, right? Like I'm getting hyped. This is battered fans is because all my teams suck. Like I never get to witness something like this. I'm going to get to go to my first final and it's going to be fun. I'm really excited. So we figured that we'd get this party started for everybody early because it's a big deal. Now, with that said, this is also the last time ever that we'll play a game in Chase Stadium. Technically not. We'll play some couple Champions Cup games there next year, but
this is the last MLS game.
This will be the last MLS game. This is the last time I'm gonna go because I probably won't go to the Champions Cup games. So big time. I mean, I'm excited and a little sad, even though I hate driving there. Like this has been my Inter Miami experience as being at that stadium. So I was going to ask you, but for everybody jumping on just right now, whether you're jumping on now or watching this later, stick around. We're going to have other guests on the show. We're going to be coming in and out. Me and Solana are kicking it off. Chris will come on, and then we have a couple other guests jumping on because not only are we talking Inter Miami, we're also talking Chase Stadium because Chase Stadium is a big deal.
Yeah, and while you guys are on, don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit the little bell notification. It definitely helps out with everyone that likes and subscribes. So while you're watching, again, if you're watching live and you haven't liked, definitely like. It's free. Come on, just use the thumb.
Free 99, as Chris likes to say. Yeah. Are you wearing the villain shirt to the game? Absolutely. We are the villains. And I saw somebody in the comments saying earlier, but I forgot to put it up, that they feel like everybody in the MLS. I'm not exaggerating, guys. We talk, and Solana also talks to people from all across the league. Like, I talk to people from literally every single team. 29 fan bases want us to lose. There's only 30 teams in this league. 29 fan base. I am yet to talk to a person that doesn't cover Inter Miami that wants Miami to win. And there's nobody that says, like, oh, I don't care, whatever. I have no interest. No, they all want Miami to lose. We are the villains.
I found one, and he covers LAFC, and he said while he would want Vancouver to win, he thinks Inter Miami is going to win 3-1. He was on a podcast with me on Monday.
There's some people that say that they think Miami's going to win, but none of them say that they want Miami to win. They're all rooting against.
Isn't it great? Miami. Isn't that feeling great? I mean, I love that. I love being us against the world. I think it gives us a little bit of a chip on our shoulder while we play the game. It gives the fans a little bit more of a chip. And honestly, if you win the game, it makes it that much sweeter. The fact that the rest of the MLS All 29 other teams are rooting against you. And when you win, you can shove it in everybody's face for about 60 days.
Absolutely. And then I hope it's not a wine and cheese crowd. I don't think so. I think, well, one, the ticket prices are dropping significantly. My fear is that so many goddamn bots and resellers bought them that they're going to wait too long to bring down the price, and we might see some empty seats because of those dumbasses.
Well, the prices have already gone down. They were at like 130 last night. Let me check right now while we're on live.
They have to be because it's the prices that they set were ridiculous, and obviously the bots and the resellers kind of ruined that for us, and now they're dropping. So hopefully people that couldn't get a ticket before that wanted to go are still looking out, and if you haven't already, look out because
they are not dropping anymore, Danny. The cheapest ticket right now, as of 7:31 in the morning, is $225.
It's still better than what it was before. So let's see. All right. So a couple things. We have obviously the biggest game in our history, but this is also the last game in Chase Stadium ever, right? Drive Pink Stadium, Inter Miami Stadium. So throughout the show, and I know a lot of people watching right now are overseas, but just want to throw some flowers to everybody that's been around here from the start because that's been a pretty important stadium or location for us. We met a lot of people in our time there. So I was just going to tell you because I was going to ask everybody that jumps on, first experience at the stadium, maybe their favorite memory and what they hated about the stadium. And I'll start. First time there was, I think, a day or two before the world shut down for COVID. It was supposed to be Inter Miami's first ever home game that Saturday.
It's the Galaxy, right?
Yeah, I believe it was the Galaxy, and I was very excited. And then a day or two later, everything shuts down. And because COVID had become a thing already, we were there. They had everybody kind of spread out, and then they had an open practice where the teams practice in the center of the pitch. So, like, you could barely see the players. But that was my first experience. And the first time I ever saw the stadium in person, and I thought it was beautiful. Like, it's a temporary stadium. Like, man, I thought that was a big deal because for a temporary stadium, I think they did a great job of fixing it up. It was a little longer. We stayed there than I thought we would, but I love the stadium. I hate the distance. I hated the hot water. And what I hated the most about that stadium, though, is that once Messi got there, they didn't let you go all the way around. And my seats were on the opposite end of the coffee. So instead of just going to get my coffee at halftime, I'd have to go a full way around. And we're sponsored by Bustelo, and they only gave us one Bustelo stand the whole stadium. But I'm happy that I don't have to drive there. I'm sure the new stadium's gonna be beautiful, but I am gonna miss it just a little bit.
What didn't you like about the hot water? I didn't understand that one.
Dude, when you used to go ahead and go to the bathroom and turn on the sink and wash your hands, the hot was like steaming. Like, I would wash, and then like it was so hot, and I never understood why they never fixed that. The first time they fixed it,
there's a little knob in the middle there, and you turn it to the right. Yeah.
No.
We're gonna find out today.
For sure. Because
I'm going to the bathroom today. I'm gonna wash my hands with hot water. I will confirm.
A week ago was the first time it wasn't steaming hot. But for a little history lesson. For those that don't know, we met Solana on Twitter, and we do have our first guest in the back room. I'm about to bring him on. We met Solana through Inter Miami through Twitter. And Solana was he used to go at Inter Miami hard. So a lot of you guys from overseas will probably appreciate it. So we brought him on the show because I disliked him so much. So he came on. He ended up being much better than his Twitter personality. But I remember you had said, like, I'm never going to go to a game in Fort Broward. I'll buy tickets when they come to Miami. Obviously, you softened up, and you finally went to a game. What was your first experience at Chase Stadium, your favorite, and your worst experience there?
Well, obviously, like you said, I was very vocal about the club, criticizing players, criticizing coaches, criticizing basically everything that the club was doing for the first couple of years. And I said, as long as the team continues to play as terrible as they played, I'm not going to make that drive for an hour and 10 minutes up to watch a team that I could essentially watch in my Sunday league, that it wasn't as good as the teams that I play on Sunday. So that's why I had that stance, Danny. Now, when Phil Neville came and I started to, and cover the team a little bit more and maybe get more in depth, and that's when I started to really, I guess, cover Inter Miami a little bit more closely, I was credentialed. I was able to go to the games, and I started to go to the games. And I remember my first game was during the Phil Neville era. I went credentialed to the game. So unfortunately, my idea was to go to the game to yell at Phil Neville because I thought that he was an absolute brutal coach, and I just didn't like Phil Neville. But obviously, history knows, I asked Phil Neville a question in a press conference. He didn't like it very much. He yelled back at me. And then my credentials were revoked.
Okay.
So, that's the story of how I started going to Inter Miami games. Now, my favorite memory has to be, no doubt, the Inter Miami Cruz Azul game where Messi scores that goal, because I was there with my brother-in-law, with a best buddy of mine, and my other brother-in-law, and it was just a fantastic moment to share. And the fact that I remember everybody had their phones out that game, especially on that free kick, and my brother-in-law goes, he grabs my hand, he grabs my phone, he says, "No, enjoy this because it's going in." And I looked at him and I was like, okay, and boom, it went in. So that was my favorite memory of so far of Chase Stadium. And then I'm going to couple it with another memory because it's something that I didn't get to do very often. I never got to see Suarez play with the Uruguay national team. So the fact that I was able to see Suarez play live in front of me and score goals was to me a memory that I'm never going to forget. And being able to take my son to the stadium and see Suarez and see Messi and all that. I mean, my son's wearing a brand new Inter Miami jersey to the game today that I got him. It's a Messi jersey. And you know more than me, Danny, I'm not happy about that because I don't love Messi. But look, my son loves Messi.
You're Uruguayan. It makes sense.
Right. So that's my memory. And then what I didn't like about the stadium is the drive. Obviously, the drive. It's absolutely brutal. It's an hour plus to get up there. The parking is annoying. To get off the highway, it's annoying. And look, that's what I hated the most. The drive.
Yeah. The drive for me, the Bustelo stand used to frustrate me. But yeah, it's gonna be fun memories also, and I'm gonna miss it. It became like a second home at one point. So with that said, we do have a few guests that are going to be coming in and out of the show. So I'm going to go ahead and bring on the first one, which is a day oneer for me, an OG, Mr. Mike Longin. I know you started 2019, much like I did. You are the head of the Green Lot Gang out in the Green parking lot. Mike, how are you feeling this morning? Because I got the Goosies. I'm ready to go. I'm excited, so much so that we decided to come on early on game day because we're so excited. We just can't hide it.
No, I'm so excited. My wife said last night I was like a kid on Christmas Eve. Like, you talk about memories. There's a guy in my guest bedroom I met in a parking lot that's flew in from Indiana for the game. I barely know him, but he slept in my guest bedroom last night because he's coming to the game. We were counting down. It's like 13 hours, 12. I'm heading out to the stadium in 20 minutes. Like we're getting there at 9 a.m. We're going to be tailgating over at the SGs. We've got a giant. I bought a case of Prosecco to get mimosas going. Because back in the day, I'm sure you remember the brunch games, like the 1 o'clock games. You do brunch, you do mimosas. This is amazing. Like what a way to basically finish off our time at traffic. I know there's a lot of talk that CCCs we played over here, but this is really the last game, and I'm treating it like the last game.
Me too. Because technically it isn't.
Are you going to have the Believe flag out today?
I'm going to have, yeah. We're going to be center pitch, west side center pitch. You will see the flag today.
Perfect. Awesome. I'll be there to take a picture, and I'm wondering, what are you guys having to eat at Chase Stadium this morning?
I am told there's going to be pancakes and eggs. I've been told that, but I've also told kind of everying. It's my job is mimosas. I've enough mimosas to kill a small country. But no, and Danny, I was there, man. Danny, I think it was March 12th, 2020, I believe was the date.
Whenever the world shut down, it was, I believe, 2 days before, because the day before, when the news hit, I was at Publix at nighttime. So it had to have been the night before that.
Sorry, March 11th, because my buddy got married on Saturday, which was the game. I was going to have to miss the game because I was in the wedding.
Pictures.
It wasn't Friday. Thursday, I was someplace where COVID was, and Wednesday was a practice. So I think it was March 11th.
I'll tell you right now because I have the pictures. So this is the first time I ever walk into the stadium. It was March 10th.
March 10th. Oh, close. So it was
March
the Tuesday.
10th, and that's me walking, and that's the first time I ever laid my eyes on that beauty.
And the mistake we all made was we didn't buy the Inter Miami beers there because those were the original themed Inter Miami beers. They never had again.
Oh, I don't remember that, but I do remember drinking a beer and being so excited because I was finally going to get to watch Inter Miami, my new club, that weekend, and I ended up having to wait like 9 months to finally watch them. The first time I ever watched them was in Orlando, actually. I had to drive up to Orlando to watch them for the first time because Orlando opened up before we did.
I remember those COVID games and the Hurricane game, and man, there's so many memories here. Though I was thinking about. I heard you asking
favorite and your worst.
So I was thinking about that because I've had a lot of really cool experiences. I mean, we used to park where we parked was right next to player station, the player walkout area. So we got to see all the players and Beckham. And I'm gonna give a really random one, and this is cheating, and I know this is gonna sound totally conceited. I got a phone call one day. Turn on Netflix. Your son's on the Beckham documentary, and that phone call and then turning it on and seeing my son high-fiving Beckham on the documentary, like there was no other stadium in the world that was going to happen at. Our little high school stadium where Beckham had to park, you know, when walking.
And they would just walk right by everybody.
Just walk. Like it was such, you know, we were such an immature team. I hate hearing Danny Solana ever badmouth the team, but we were a Sunday league team. We were an immature team, and we had immature practices. But you know what? As a fan, it was awesome.
It was very intimate.
It was very intimate. We knew, like, you saw everybody, you knew everybody. You'd be walking on the west side, and I have pictures just bumping into Campana and Pozuelo because they were injured and they had to walk through the fans, and the fans didn't recognize them. It was silly, but that's what made it great. I'm Broward, so the drive, I'm more upset about the drive we're gonna get than the drive we get. But yeah, those are like the memories I really love.
Well, what's the worst memory at the stadium?
Losing to Atlanta last year.
Really, mine was losing to Houston.
Losing to Houston, I was upset about it.
We were actually high though.
And I actually forgot the belief flag in the stands. Someone had to run back and get it. Funny enough that Solana mentioned it. We stayed in the parking lot after the Atlanta game for an hour, playing Sarah McLachlan over and over again, just as depressed as we could be. That was definitely the worst memory that I'm ready to move by today.
But you know what? Underrated moment in that game. We scored the game-tying goal, and then Campana just shoves Gusan into the net. One of my favorite Inter Miami moments.
And Suarez yells at him, "Stay down." Didn't go our way after that, though.
I know, but if it would have, that would have been such a magical moment. It really sucks because we lost it. Nobody really like, you don't think about it as much, but it's such a cool moment. All right, so today, how are you feeling about the game? And you can give us your prediction.
So I'm trying not to jinx it. I think when we look at the two finals we lost, which was Houston and Seattle, I think the players and the fans look past those games. When we were going to play Houston, even though we didn't have Messi, like we were like, oh, it's Houston, who cares? And I think Seattle, a lot of it was the same way. It's like, we can go beat Seattle. I think for the first time, because we've lost to Vancouver twice, no one should be looking past this game. Vancouver's a very good team. We have a completely different identity than we had at the end of Leagues Cup, right? Like back in the day, the way to beat us was a low block. We could not break down a low block for the best ones. Now, honestly, the way to beat us is a high press because we're so much better against it. And I think it's going to be a tight game. I'm going 3-2 in extra time, Messi goal to win it.
Ooh, you know, I keep predicting that Suarez is going to hit the game-winning goal. Just because I think the storyline fits, right? Like everybody's like, oh, just retire already. Oh, we're happy you're benched. Kind of Gareth Bale-ish from a couple of years ago. Then he comes in late in the game and he makes the difference.
So I was thinking about that. I think if it's storyline, though, I think it's a Jordy goal. A Jordy does something. I think that's your story.
Cool.
That's your storyline goal.
I would love that.
But I think honestly, it's going to stick to the MLS script. Garber's going to be in the stands. Messi scores the game winner.
I'm okay with that also. Look, if the GOAT is the one to hand deliver us this trophy on game day, I will take it and give it to me. I think it would be appropriate for Messi, but I'm just trying to think like what could possibly happen that it's like, oh, can you believe that happened? I think Luis Suarez is that, oh, can you believe that happened moment.
Well, Danny, speaking about Luis Suarez, Mike, how do you feel? Obviously, you know that Inter Miami has extended Luis Suarez a 1-year contract renewal. He said that he was going to think about it. And then now this week, a lot of rumblings coming out of Uruguay saying that Suarez is going back to Uruguay to play for Nacional for the next 6 months. And then the last that I heard was that he's not going to make a decision or talk about it until after the game because his focus is solely on this game. But how would you feel about Suarez coming back, Mike, for next year, but as a sub, coming on the bench, kind of like how he's been over the last month, and playing a more secondary role, coaching the team a little bit, and being a leader in the locker room? How would you feel about that?
So I kind of look at the same way I used to look at Higuain coming back. I actually wanted Higuain to come back the last year as a super sub, as someone to come off the bench. I'm totally okay with that. My issue is purely with Suarez at this point is money. He cannot be taking money up from players that we absolutely need. He's not a starter anymore. Every time he started, I got viscerally angry. He doesn't have the legs. He hasn't had the touch. Like he's just not who he was.
Man. No, he's not who he was for sure.
He wasn't, but listen, listen, I've seen Solana's post day in and day out. He's a striker. Your job as a striker is to score goals, not to make assists. Yes, he contributes, but your end of the day, your job is to put the ball in the back of the net every time you get the opportunity. He wasn't able to take advantage of those opportunities. You even saw it last week. That being said, I'm totally good with him taking a mid to high end TAM contract to come back as a super sub.
Yeah, and it might. I don't think it's happening anymore, but it could happen. Well, Mike, we know you're about to head out. We appreciate you jumping on. Well, I don't know if you want to promote Inter Miami show because I know you guys have been a little off for a while, but one of the originals, much appreciated. One of the people I met through Inter Miami, much appreciated. Mike, any last words before you sign off?
No, vamos Miami, guys. Like this is awesome. I hope everyone's making the stadium. You know, if you're watching the show and you're local and you're thinking about it, yeah, tickets are expensive. But it was funny. I was with some people that were Florida Panthers fans, and they're telling me Florida Panthers Stanley Cup Finals, like they're in the hundreds and thousands of dollars, $200-something for a final match. This is a fair price to get into a stadium on the final day in South Florida. Again, I'm comparing it to a down the street team.
$200 is fair,
right?
And on I'm just Tuesday, saying it was $400.
But I'm just saying right now, if you're on the fence.
Yeah.
Come fill the stands. I agree. I heard your comment earlier. I am not 100% sure it's a fully full stadium. I would love to see it full. Let's be as loud because the other worst part about the stadium is the acoustics stink. Like this is the issue with the stadium has always been the acoustics. You do not get the bounce because the North Stand does not have a roof, which we're getting next year. I think that's gonna be the best part of Miami Freedom Park. But the only way to overcome that is get in there, scream, root for the home team, give us a huge home field advantage, and let's go.
Packed for NYCFC. It was packed for NYCFC. If it's not tonight, it's because of the prices and all the resellers. Because last week, when everybody was able to get a ticket, that stadium was popping.
So. It was.
Mike, much appreciated. I doubt I'll see you out there because I'm going to get there late because of my daughter's soccer game. But,
I'll see you out there.
But
all right, well, we'll be over by just east of the stadium with the NRN flags, NRN Siege. Greenlight is all going to have their flags up. We're going to have a great time. Stop by. Let's go. And vamos Miami.
Absolutely. All right, Mike. You guys have a good one, man.
All right.
So, yeah. So, like I said, my daughter has a game. So, if I could, I would stay on here for another hour or two, just talking Miami, just because I'm so excited. But I have to go get ready for my daughter's soccer game. But the show doesn't end here because we do have this bitch about to get on right now. There he is. So shout out to Mr. KBD. Good morning.
Yeah, I mean, good morning. Thanks for having me wake up early. I mean, on a Saturday, my connection is terrible.
Well, for the record, you didn't have to. You wanted to because you're also hyped about today. So stop saying you had to. But for you noobster, no, I did not. I was not able to get tickets for my kids because they were so expensive on Tuesday. I wanted to, but they were so expensive I couldn't. And now that they're dropping, I still can't because I'm not gonna have them sit. I want to sit with my wife, and if I do that, then we'd either have to like pair off. She takes one kid, I take the other. So it's not gonna be possible for me, unfortunately, as much as I wanted my kids to experience it today. All right. So I'm going to write out. Unfortunately, I'm going to.
They actually are more expensive now than they were last night.
That's what we were
Well,
talking about. Yeah.
yeah. Well, because resellers aren't dumb, right? They got desperate, but now they're like, okay, now everybody's like, they'll come back down later today in a couple of hours. But right now they're like, you know what? Let me push it up a little bit because now people are waking up
Yeah,
trying
I
to get that last
expected
minute
this.
ticket. Yeah. But so it takes a little, it has ups and flows. It's going to come back down in a couple of hours. So let me just say these before I come out. Shout out to everybody that supported us over the last couple of years. This is the biggest day in Inter Miami history, short history, right? We started in 2020, and it wasn't even a full 2020 season because of COVID. So short history, biggest game. Everybody that's been supporting us for the last 4 seasons. Shout out to you guys. People that hate us, shout out to you guys also. It's a big night. I'm excited. I'm going to be at the stadium, not as early as I want, but I will be out there, and I'm excited, man. I'm excited. I appreciate everybody that jumped on with us live. If you're joining us after I get off of here, you're hearing this afterwards. Appreciate everybody. And we did this we're assuming everybody watching this is as hyped as we are. And when I wake up for a big game, I feel the fireworks. That's my brain in the morning in a big game. And I'm kind of excited. And I just want to hear about the team. Like, let me go on YouTube, see who's talking about it. So we figured, you know what? We're going to give that to you. And we're going to give that to you with several guests. So we have to say farewell to the stadium. And thank you to Messi and friends for bringing us to this point. And with that said, I got to go wake everybody up and get ready.
That was a hell of a visual.
Game.
That was a hell of a visual. How'd you do
that?
I
did that? I don't
How'd
know.
you get the fireworks in the background? I don't know how you did that.
That's me. That's me. That's how hyped I am. Like, it just comes out. I'm hyped. All right, man. Love everybody out here. And Chris, I'll leave you to it. I know you got some guests coming on. So with that said, shout out to everybody. Much appreciated. Let's effing go Miami. Oh, and I can hear myself now. And let's effing go Miami.
All right, Chris.
Well, I mean, at this point, what I'm going to end up doing is I'm just going to end up doing
this show from
my phone here.
Well, now you have an echo, by the way.
Switch this over.
There you go.
Yeah, I ended up switching it over anyway. So,
well, we just had Mike on from the Green Lock Gang, and he was fantastic, Chris. He was fantastic. He gave us his best memory from Chase Stadium, his worst memory, and told us about his first day that he went to Chase Stadium back before COVID. I don't know if you want to let the fans know what what your best memories are of Chase Stadium, but yeah, I think it's a good transition into this next part of the show. You're on mute, by the way.
Okay. Yeah, I'm just going to do it from here. I'm sorry about that. I think the best experience that I had was probably when I'll start off with the worst because that seems like it's better and more fitting. My worst experience was essentially the first 20 minutes of the time that I went because I was getting dragged out to the game. Danny invited me. He had an extra ticket. I went out there and I'm like, oh, I gotta watch soccer. This is gonna be awful. We sat like I think it was in section like 122 or 121. And when I sat there, I was like, this is awful. We're playing against the New England Revolution. I don't even know who the hell they are. Um, and all of a sudden the goals just started like pouring in. I'm like, holy crap, this is fun. And then I kind of look around and like everybody's celebrating. We went out for halftime, walked around, like the ambiance was really nice. And after that, I was like, I was hooked. I was hooked. And it was a 5-1 win. That was honestly probably the best experience that I had just after that. Um, and then getting to meet Mike because Mike was one of the earlier people that we met, and he's always around with the Green Lock Gang. They're barbecuing, they're serving drinks and stuff, hanging out. That was a really cool experience. And just really going to the best part now is meeting so many people that essentially have kind of helped to build sort of like a fan camaraderie. I think that's been sort of the best part about the experience at Dry Pink Stadium.
Oh, Drive Pink. Oh, nice little throwback there instead of
Yes.
Stadium. But yeah, man, I agree. I mean, we met, you, me, and Danny met outside of Chase Stadium after, we had met on Twitter for the first time while we were all doing content out there. And I agree. I mean, although my favorite memory, I told the fans earlier, was Messi's goal against Cruz Azul, I have to echo your sentiment, right? Because it's been fantastic to get out there. Last game against NYCFC, I saw Dremundo out there from the Battered Herons Discord. I've met Bigote. I've met so many folks from this beautiful community that you guys have put together, the Battered community. That I echo your sentiment, and I think that's been one of the best things as well, is getting out there and meeting so many people who are as passionate about the sport and the team as we are.
And I want to mention something here because Wade is asking a question. Could you imagine if Chris's first game was 0-0 score? Listen, if the game was 0-0, you wouldn't be seeing me here. I can guarantee you that. It's crazy how the world does things. And let me tell you, you mentioned something because I remember the first time I met you, I think you went out there to do some coverage and you had the microphone. I think you were with
With Nico.
yeah, you were with Nico, and that was the first time I think that I met you, and I think Danny as well. I'm not 1,000% sure.
Yeah, that was the first time we all met in person, right outside. It was
Yes,
now the area where we met is fenced off because you can't get in. But
yes,
before Messi, that stadium was, or that area was all wide open because they had different events going on and they had the food trucks out there that they would give
yeah,
out free stuff and free coffee. But now all that's closed up. So that's where we met, right outside, right in front of Drive Pink Stadium.
yeah. That was a blast. The loner's asking Chris and Solana, what's your favorite memory before Messi? I don't know if you covered yours already.
Well, I mean, I just mentioned that my first time I went to the stadium, my main goal was to yell at Phil Neville. Obviously, I couldn't yell at him because I was covering the team, and that's frowned upon. Had I gone as a fan, I probably would have gave him a piece of my mind. But my favorite memory before Messi, I think, has to be, man, that's rough. That's rough because
Well,
I,
go ahead and
I
go
like
ahead and think.
criticize the team before Messi.
Go ahead and think about it if you'd like, but I'll give my story. Mike, from just that he was just on with us now, just mentioned how we used to have access to the players. They would literally walk from like the players building to the stadium. And I remember one of the first times that I went to the green lot, and people were always like, "Oh man, yeah, you could just hang out there, freaking high five people and say what's up, get autographs." And I couldn't believe it, right? I never seen something like that in terms of like professional sports. And I'm hanging out literally outside of Mike's truck, and his truck is parked like one or two spaces from the entrance of the player area, and they literally are walking out, and like kids are like high-fiving, walking up, hey, what's up? Like, that blew my mind. That was, of course, before Messi, until they ended up building, they fenced it in, and all of a sudden now they have to take a stupid bus from one side of the parking lot to the other side of the parking lot, which is just completely awful.
I agree. I finally got my memory. I know what I'm going to say now. So my favorite memory pre-Messi was when I was covering the team and I was able to go into the post-game press conference with Phil Neville, and I asked him a tough enough question that he got so upset at me and he yelled back at me that they took away my credentials. I believe that is my favorite because that goes to show that my question was so tough to Phil Neville that it got him so frustrated that he didn't want to see my face in that room anymore. And while I'm frustrated that I can't get him back in there, it goes to show that my journalistic abilities are right on point, because when you're asking those types of questions and unfortunately the coaches get mad at you, that means that you hit a nerve, and hey, sorry Phil, but it is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, look, that was good timing, and I think. And listen, guys, if you guys don't know, we're gonna have a guest fest today. Okay, we're gonna be having a lot of guests on. Solana, I'm gonna go ahead and bring on a couple other guests,
Yeah, I'm
and I
gonna
know
sign
you've
off. I'm going to sign off now. I have to go celebrate something with my wife, and I will let you continue with your other two guests. But thank you for letting me come on, Chris. Thank you for the chat. And I'll see you out there at the stadium today.
Awesome, dude. Take it easy, Solana, and I'll meet you out there. We'll link up.
All right. Thanks, Chris.
All right, buddy. All right, guys. So, like I said, this is going to be a guest fest. Okay. And we got a couple guests lined up before we go ahead and finish the show, probably like in 30, 40 minutes or whatnot. But the guest that I'm going to bring on now, okay, guys, and for those of you who don't know, okay, in this space, the people that were originally out here posting content, okay, these people essentially started the movement in terms of helping to get a team down here in Miami and Inter Miami in South Florida. And these guys are the OGs when it comes to posting content online, through audio platforms, through visual platforms as well. And I have to bring them on if we're going to do a guest fest talking about experiences at the stadium. So let's bring on none other than Peter Brown and Uncle Ed from Football Miami TV. Guys, how are you guys doing this morning?
Man, I'm nervous as hell. I hope you can hear me because I have problems with my mic.
Listen,
No, it sounds good.
You're not having as many problems as I am. I'm on my cell phone when I have a freaking microphone here and my camera right behind it, and my computer is literally about to explode because my kids play games on the computer. No, but you're fine, Ed.
Okay, cool beans. Man, I am incredibly excited, man. I've been nervous all week. I've been, I'm just a wreck. I'm a train wreck right now, man, because I'm suffering like I've never suffered before. This is worse than the marriage, man.
No, Ed, train wreck is part of the old Lockhart Stadium, not the new Lockhart. We left him behind.
Yeah. Now, and I appreciate you guys taking the time to wake up early and jump on with us. Like I told Peter, I wanted to punch Danny in the face because he asked me to wake up early on a Saturday.
Where's he? Shouldn't he be doing this?
He's getting his kids together because his daughter. Yeah, it makes me work, and he's got a soccer game he's gonna attend. He might make it at game time for the game of Inter Miami versus Vancouver. So it's gonna be a little tight for him for sure. And shout out to a new Wiseman. He's hanging out here, says the OGs. Good morning, Peter Brown and Uncle Ed. Thank you guys so much. And Anu, thank you so much for the 80%. Super Slam. I'm just going to drop this sound here. 80%. So there that goes. Let's talk a little bit about your first, I guess, experience. This is going to be a little tricky, though, because I kind of want to ask whoever wants to jump in first. Not only your first experience at the stadium, but I mean, like I said in the beginning, you guys realistically kind of were part of the movement, some important pieces of the movement to be able to bring a team down to South Florida.
Go ahead, Peter.
Yeah, well, that's two different things, right? So first time at Lockhart, man, I go back to the 70s. So I remember going to see the Fort Lauderdale Strikers versus Tampa Bay Rowdies. And for me, I didn't understand rivalries. I was a little kid. I didn't understand why is this other team walking around our stadium in their colors. It didn't seem right. I didn't understand what I mean, I'm probably like 7, 8 years old. I don't know. I don't understand rivalries. I don't understand that there's other fans. It's like, this is our stadium. We should be wearing our colors. What are they doing here? And so I go way back to then with the Nene Cobillas and Ray Hudson era. Then, on and off, because Strikers were in and out of business. So there was the Winn-Dixie version of the Strikers where, I was going to those games as well. Then Ed and I both go into the games with the Miami Fusion, so we go way, way back. I mean, Ed, some of your Miami Fusion stories.
Dude, everything's a blur to me. It was so long ago. Like my first soccer experience was I think in LA. I was born in LA originally, so I went to an Aztecs game My dad took
nice.
that, so that was pretty cool. Aztecs versus I think it was the Cosmos back then, and it was good, man. Good experience. But over here in South Florida, yeah, we once I got over here, man, I'm basically a Miami guy now. So I've been here like most of my life, and yeah, my biggest experience was with the Fusion. My dad had season tickets back then, so we used to go. And then when that team ended, it was like incredible heartbreak. So we had to do something to bring a team back. And that guy over here, Peter Brown, started a website that everybody started to join. And Julio Caballero, who was basically the first president of the supporters groups or whatever. They got together, they had a couple beers, and I joined later on, and the rest is history, man. We started pushing to get billionaires, and we were sending emails. That's how long ago it was.
Yeah.
Man. All emails. And we had a couple people answer, but the one that finally did answer, Julio, was Marcelo Claude. And, we passed around flyers and stuff. Peter Brown more than I did. He's if anybody needs flyers passed around, Peter Brown's the guy to do it to talk.
Yeah, we were going back to that. I created a website back in the old days with using the Apple program iWeb, which was a way for me to learn how to create websites. And the problem with it is it created a URL that was super long, lots of backslashes and this and that, very hard to find. But this guy Julio found it somehow, and I'm into the graphics business, and so I created a logo that said supporters, and just goofing around. Nobody's going to this website. This is for me to learn.
Yeah.
And he says, he reaches out to me through the website and says, where do I join? And I'm like, join what? And he said, the supporters club. Well, let's talk. And then it all steamrolled from there. And like Ed was saying, in those dark years where there was, we still had the Fort Lauderdale Strikers, but some people did not want to get on board. Ed and I were like, support local, support what you have while dreaming for something and working for something bigger. So a lot of the people that have just joined on, like yourself, that's great. Not just, you with this team, right? That's awesome. But yeah, we were in there doing the legwork. We were the guerrilla marketing team for these guys, going to FIU.
We look like gorillas too.
Yeah, going to we would go to like any youth tournament.
I imagine you're going to all the small little soccer fields and soccer pitches where they play like 6-on-6 or whatever.
And all the supporters groups, like, for Barcelona, for what was it, Arsenal, for all those supporters group that got together and watched games, I would hit all those, man. Just an excuse to drink a beer,
Yeah, and I guess one thing I want to mention, because Peter, you mentioned, as far as like when I got in, I tend to tell this story whenever I get the chance to. I hated soccer like 3-4 years ago, and Danny just invited me randomly to a game. It's like, hey, come on, I got tickets. I went out there and fell in love with the ambiance, fell in love with it was 5-1, I think the results were against the New England Revolution. So luckily I was able to see a game where we destroyed someone, and the rest is history. Like, he's like, hey, you want to talk about soccer? I'm like, sure. Hey, I ended up getting season tickets like a game or two later, because I was like, this is a great experience. I could bring my kids, I could bring my wife, I could bring my partner, whatever the case is, and it was amazing. The loaner is asking here, Chris asked everyone about their favorite pre and post Messi experience. So I guess I mentioned my favorite pre-Messi experience was the fact that there was no separation between the walkway from the player facility to the stadium. And you can be able to literally say hi and handshake some of these players. So I guess I'll jump over to you. Well, Uncle Ed, what was your favorite pre and post, I guess, Messi experience?
I think the best was when we first met David Beckham. It was at FIU. He was going to that's when he was first trying to bring the team.
Yeah.
So meeting him was pretty cool. He's down to earth, and after a while, he's seen my ugly face so much he even remembers my name. Well, I don't know anymore because I haven't seen him for a couple years. But yeah, that was a pretty cool experience, and like you said, in the beginning it was easier to talk to the players. Like when back in the Strikers day, that was easy. Now now it's impossible now, to get the Messi. That's one of our dreams, and it hasn't happened yet. It's been promised, but it hasn't happened. So,
yeah, I mean, just wanted to reiterate something that Ed, mentioned earlier. I don't want to glaze past it because I think it is pretty impressive that these knuckleheads that we were back pre-Messi, right? Before there was even a team, we wanted an MLS team so bad that we would blind email anybody with money and harass them. We harassed Don Garber so much that he had a town hall meeting with us and then came over to our friend Julio, who was leading the charge, and said, please stop emailing me. I looked at Don Garber. I looked at Don Garber and I said, well, it worked, didn't it? So
all that stalking. We're good at stalking.
We stalked. We could get arrested for that today, but we stalked them for the pre-Messi era.
Well, it's funny that you mentioned that because I think of like old school ways of getting a job where my dad's like, you got to walk out there with 30 resumes and you got to hand them out to 30 people, shake hands with 30 people. So I can definitely relate to that. What do you got? Oh, yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was saying, but in the stadium and stuff like that, like I think where your question really was.
Yeah.
Pre-Messi, look, we were excited to have the team, but we were not good. And it's just like South Florida's a tough sports town. And if you're not a winner and you don't have a big star, you're not filling your stadium. And it wasn't full. But yet those fans were diehard, right? They were there to bleed the colors, right? They were there for the beginning. They were diehard fans. Now post-Messi, it's full. You've got a lot of people that are only there for one reason only, and that sucks. That part of it sucks. But the Messi memory is him scoring that goal against Cruz Azul. Ed and I were sitting behind the goal on that game because tickets were crazy expensive, just like this game today. And we were sitting right behind the goal, the ball coming right at us. That basically almost first touch for Messi. A goal, and that was like, well, that's what he's here for. I mean, good days are coming.
We thought that was going to happen every game. He was going to score off every because it was magic, man. And being there for that first experience was awesome. That first goal was great. And we were in the supporters section, which we usually don't go to anymore. Excuse me. But yeah, it was. We should technically be in the supporters section, but we like watching the game, and the flags were in our faces, and the smells, was also getting to us. The smoke, and then the beer throwing. I like drinking beer, not getting showered by beer.
Well, it's funny. Yeah, I went to the supporter section, once or twice, and after going with my kids over there, I'm like, I think I'm okay all the way on the other side of the
not
pitch.
For the kids.
It's a different experience. If I was to go with Danny and just myself and Danny, I'd be there the whole game and I'd be jumping all over the place. But it's a little different when you go with the kids. So real quick, I guess before we finish it off, let me get your predictions. I'll start off with you, Uncle Ed. What do you think is going to be the result of the game today?
Man, we're going to blow them away. It's going to be a 7-1. Yeah, I'm going to give them one.
What about you, Peter?
That sounds like our last game day vlog when we were sitting around drinking beers, making wild predictions, and people took it seriously. But one of those predictions landed.
Hey.
But I think look, this is going to be a tough game. We've already lost Vancouver twice in important matches. Granted, that was we're in a different position now. We're flowing very differently than we were then. But I think it's going to be a very tough match. And I think it could go down to something like 3-2. Inter Miami wins. It's going to be a nerve-wracking game, I think. I hope I'm wrong and it's a blowout for us, but I just got a feeling we're going to be nervous the whole game and scared and sitting on the edge of our seats, but we're going to win.
Well, it's definitely going to be a fun game. I know that everybody is excited. Danny had mentioned a little bit earlier. He's excited, but he's sad because it's going to be his last experience at the stadium as well as mine. I know that it's the last game this season technically, and maybe there might be additional games like in other tournaments. but I'm not going to be going to the tournaments. And I think that this is probably, obviously, this is the biggest game in Inter Miami history. So to go out at this height at Dry Pink / Lockhart / Inter Miami / Chase Stadium is going to be fantastic. Before I let you guys go, you guys got any plans at the stadium this morning before you get in?
Tailgating.
Yes.
Yeah, we'll
We're gonna
get there at
be
11
there.
a.m. Yeah, drink a bunch.
Yeah.
Film
Oh,
our experience. Film our experience.
yes. Yeah. No, you guys are fantastic with that kind of stuff. And just so everybody knows, there was an email sent out where they're opening up at 11 in the morning, not 3 hours beforehand.
But yeah, that email, what took them so long? I'm used to them sending that email. That's why I was like chatting you. I'm chatting everybody. I'm like trying to find information because I am that kind of person. Ed knows, bit of a control freak.
Oh,
and I like to know what my plans are going to look like. And here I am, like the team hasn't sent out any messages. It was last night that they sent that out.
I'm actually just kind of sad that they're going to give the same crappy pink towels that they gave last week in today's game. Like, I mean, in reality, just because you're changing, they literally just changed the logo. I mean, look at that.
Yeah.
What a disaster.
I like it, but it should be different. I like it, but it should be different, you know?
Yeah. So, I mean, it is what it is. Guys, thank you guys so much for coming on with us. Peter, Uncle Ed, much appreciated. Peter, let everybody know where they can be able to find you guys.
At Football Miami TV, everywhere you want to go. You know, we do a podcast just like the Battered Herons, but we also do a lot of different content that maybe others don't do, like game day vlogs. There's even food vlogs on our channel that you know, but we'll have to do that again at Miami Freedom Park. Construction videos, you want to be up to date on the construction. So we try to be a full-fledged YouTube channel. So you know, come check us out. We're having fun, and also make sure you're checking out the Battered Herons too.
Yeah. Thank you so much. And Benedict Potter here with another terrible comment. Battered Herons Chris again begging for free stuff. Yes, I pay a lot of money for season tickets. I'm gonna walk away with bags of free stuff if I possibly can. So get out of here, Benedict.
That's what this is free stuff right here.
Got plenty of those.
Yeah, man.
I just need Inter Miami underwear. That's all I need. That's all I need.
I mean, they're gonna give it. They're gonna give it at some point when Messi's out of here. For sure, you're gonna get Inter Miami underwear for sure.
Yeah,
with Messi's face right on. Well, forget about that.
Yeah, probably. All right, Peter, Uncle Ed, thank you guys so much for jumping on. Hopefully, I get to see you guys at the stadium later on.
Yeah, look for us at tailgate.
Yeah, for sure.
Chris.
I'll be out there. Bye. All right, guys. So let's go ahead and. We're still not done here, guys. Okay, like I told you guys, it's going to be a fan fest. Okay, and I'm trying to do something here to figure out where the hell I need to put this because now my setup is a little different. Let's see here. Nope, that's not going to work. And this is quite awful. Okay, so this is where we're at, guys. Again, I told you guys that this is going to be a fan fest. We covered a little bit of the game, talked about the starting 11. We've already done that ad nauseum. Today is the game, okay? The most important game in Inter Miami's history, okay? And now we're talking a little bit about the love for the stadium, a little bit of love about the first experience and the last experience, because again, we're going to be moving to Miami Freedom Park next season. So we're having a guest fest to bring some of the people on, some people that you've seen already, and some people you probably haven't seen in a while. So I'm going to go ahead and bring on our next guest. He was on with us just recently, and he's also been in the content space for Inter Miami, and you guys are pretty familiar with him. So let's go to Matty Ice from SoFlo Soccer. What is going on, Matt?
What's up, guys? Good morning. Good morning, everybody.
Yeah, this morning thing is terrible. I kind of want to punch Danny in the face because he wants to make people wake up in the morning, and I'm not with that. So, but it is what it is.
No.
Saturday morning, we got a big game. Yeah, go ahead, Matt.
No. Today is the exception for waking up early, man. We got the 2:30 game. I'm excited. So honestly, this is like the one Saturday where I'm not angry at being awake this early, if that makes sense.
That makes sense. Yeah, Danny
Yeah.
told me the same thing. I still want to fight him in the face, but that's okay. Matt, before we talk about your first experience at Dry Pink and talk about the last day today, the big question here: were you able to get tickets for today's game?
Guys, I was actually going to text you last night, Chris, but I wanted to wait until I jumped on this morning. I can officially say that I've secured 2 tickets for me and my dad to be here for the most important game of our history. So I'm very, very excited about that. And we can't wait. We can't wait. I was waiting all night. Yes, I was waiting all night. I wanted to wait until literally probably the last minute. I was like, because I was even gonna push my luck. I was gonna be like, you know what? Let me wait until 7 a.m. this morning and see what it looks like. And I didn't even check it, to be honest. I didn't even check it how it looks today. But
oh no, let me tell you, it played out just like how I told you. Last night they dropped it down to like 202.
Yes.
And then now this morning, the cheapest ticket went right back up, 246.
No way. So I made the right choice. Okay.
Yes.
I'm very, very happy then. Yes, because like I literally got the it was like 200. I thought I got a steal, to be honest. It was like $200 for 2 tickets in section 125. And I think it's like row 20. So like it's like right there. It's like right there. But like before that, the cheapest ones were like on how you call them, the Lego stands. And I'm like, I'm not spending my last day at the Lego stand, respectfully to everybody who sits there. But
that's fair. I wouldn't have done that. I would have done the same thing. I'm not gonna sit in the Lego stands. That's absolutely awful.
After 5 years, you know. But anyway, no. But I'm happy. I'm happy that I was able to get it finally, and I'm glad I made the right choice. So thank you for helping me out with that. I know you've been helping me out a lot with with the information and telling me when it goes down and up while I was working. And I appreciate it greatly. So thank you again, Chris.
Yeah, man. Anytime. Now we're here. We broke down a little bit about what's to come against Vancouver. And now we're gonna be essentially sending off Dry Pink Stadium. This is the last game in the MLS season. And luckily it's the MLS Cup game against Vancouver. But we kind of want to go back, and Danny was on here with Solana. He brought in Mike from Inter Miami Show. As you see, we just had some OGs with Peter Brown and Uncle Ed. So now I kind of want to pick your brain. What was your best? What was your first experience at the stadium, and what do you remember being your best and worst experience?
My first ever experience at the stadium, I'm pretty sure, if I can remember this correctly, is the open training session that they had back when we were getting ready to open up or getting ready for our season opener at home, or not our season opener, but our home opener in 2020. So I remember, if I remember correctly, we already played 2 games in the regular season. I'm pretty sure we lost both of them, I think.
Danny says it's March 10th, 2020. He has the picture of it and everything.
I have a picture of it too. I was trying to pull it up. I have a picture. It was with my dad, me. I was 19 at the time, and my little brother, who I think was like 13 or 14, I forget. But and we had 3 season tickets at that time. For like 2 years, we had 3 season tickets with my brother, and then afterwards he didn't want to come anymore. But I remember being there. I remember seeing, Higuain and Matuidi and Pizarro, and then we got to learn some players like Robbie Robinson. Then we were waiting for, I can't even remember his name now, but Pellegrini. I think we were waiting for Pellegrini because he was supposed to be signed because he's Argentinian, and I'm like, oh, okay, we have a lot of Argentinians on the team. Let's go. And it was cool. I ended up getting a photo with the Pizarro afterwards. I caught him walking out. That was our first goal scorer. I thought our first. Oh yes, our first goal scorer. Yes, no, you're right. Because I was gonna say and then I remember my first game experience was obviously after COVID and all that. After the year has passed, we came back, and that first season or home opener was supposed to be against LA Galaxy, and I'm pretty sure again we played against LA Galaxy in that next year, like and I remember going to the game. I have video of me like walking up through the stands with my dad and
Oh,
my
nice.
brother, and he recorded it all. So shout out to Dad. And I recorded our first goal at Drive Pink, or yeah, I think it was called Drive Pink at the time. Drive Pink, and it was Pipita Higuain like scoring a penalty kick in front of the supporter section. That supporter section was full. So like huge shout out to all the supporters, because like we always say that those games are very empty, but that day it was full. It was to the brim. It was all the way up to the top. And no, I loved it. No, I loved those are my first experience. My favorite experience though.
Well, I'll give you an example, because Danny's worst experience for some reason is, which I mean, he's fair to say this. We used to go get coffee at the Cafe Bustelo, and from our section before Messi got here, we used to be able to walk from our seats straight directly to the Cafe Bustelo section. But now that they have to have a bus travel Messi in, we have to go all the way around the stadium in order to get coffee. So that's like one of his worst experiences. So something like that.
I hated when they did that. I was like, they completely cut off this corner of, or like literally that quadrant of the stadium, and you have to do the whole lap around. That is literally an awful experience. I hate doing that every single time. Damn, I can't even.
And as far as like a best experience, like I don't know, just what did you ever experience that was really awesome at Drive Pink Stadium, especially before we send it off today?
Yeah, I think honestly, I was trying to think of a game experience, but I mean, like, there's a lot of moments where like we would win last minute, or like I remember specifically, I think it was like Ponzuelo like scored like or like we scored 2 goals in like 5 minutes at the end of this one game, but I can't remember who it was against. I think I can say though, I can't remember clearly the best experience that I've had, or one of the best experiences, because it's happened thankfully multiple times. It's when I would go, and you guys talked about it with Peter and Uncle Ed.
Yeah.
At the end of the games, the players would walk down that path, and they would go out that gate. Right.
Yeah.
And I love that. And every game I would tell my dad, even though it was like 11 o'clock, he wanted to go home at that point because we would lose like 5-1.
Yeah.
And like he would be like, no, let's just go home. Like, no, like the players are coming out. Let's go. Let's say hi. Let's take pictures maybe. And I remember this one day we got absolutely destroyed 5-1. We got absolutely killed, and it was McCarthy in goal. I don't know if you remember McCarthy.
Yes.
So McCarthy was in goal, and everybody's pissed. Nobody was saying hi to us. I think we did get away from like Matuidi and like here and there. And then McCarthy came out, and I'm looking at McCarthy, and everyone's ignoring McCarthy. Everyone's ignoring. I'm like, yo, John, like, it's okay, bro. It's okay. And I'm like, and I'm trying to make him feel good. And I'm like, it's okay, John. It's all right. And then like he stuck out his hand. So I'm thinking that he's gonna give me a fist bump. So I'm like, oh, nice. I'm gonna get a fist bump from McCarthy. And so and then like as soon as his hand comes out, he goes down the aisle like fist bumping people. Yeah. So I'm like, okay, like I'm ready. I'm ready for the fist bump. And then he's like, here, just take this. And then he hands over his pair of cleats that he used for his game.
Nice.
And it's like these black Adidas cleats. He's a size 8, by the way, for anybody that's wondering. He's a size 8, so he has tiny feet.
That's insane.
And it's very worn. I wish I should have brought them. I literally have them downstairs. I've worn them once, and they were so tight. And so I can't literally wear them. So if anybody's a size 8 and wants McCarthy cleats, you let me know. I hate them to just sit there and not go to use. But no, I think that was like probably my favorite experience, because he was so upset and he was like, bro, just take them. And he just gave it to me out of frustration.
Yeah.
And then since then, I would always like bring family, like anytime like family would visit from Argentina, I would always take them to the stadium before Messi, right? This is before Messi. And like, I would always tell them to say hi to the players. We would take pictures with Shawcross, with Lewis Morgan.
Oh, nice.
With I think we had Gibbs at the time. We take pictures with McCarthy, with, you know, and we would just take pictures and have fun like with players, and we would sit wherever we wanted, and like, you know, it was
Yes.
like in the good times, that those are probably my favorite experiences.
That's fantastic, dude.
Mhm.
And today is gonna be our, well, I just mentioned it, it's gonna be our final experience in the final
Mhm.
here at Dry Paint, Chase Stadium, whatever you guys want to call it. I guess before I let you go, what's your prediction, and what time are you planning on getting to the stadium? Do you have any plans what you're gonna do?
So honestly, so I was thinking about getting to the stadium pretty as early as I could. The thing is, my dad is works until about 1.
Oof.
So I'm like trying to quickly, I'm gonna try to recover him at 1 o'clock, and then I'm gonna try to
Yeah.
be. But I mean, honestly, we're just gonna like before we actually physically walk into the stadium, like through the gates, we're gonna do like a lap, and we're gonna like, you know, take it all in. We're gonna go to the fan zone. We're just gonna take everything in one last time.
Yeah.
Um, because, you know, last time being there, last time as season ticket members, after walking around that stadium for 5 years, we're gonna take it all in for one last time. So no special plans, um, but you know, just kind of just taking in the moment, enjoying the moment while we have it.
Well, and you got to give us your prediction, but before you
Yeah.
do, Mitch is saying anyone else having
Nausea.
nausea right now. Listen, it's going to be a fun game, and it's going to be gut-wrenching as well, for sure. And one thing I want to mention is I know you guys wanted like another breakdown of the game. Loner, you're asking, do you think we should talk more about the game? Listen, Loner, we've been talking about the game
We
all week. Okay.
Yeah,
That's
you have been.
literally all week. We've been talking about how many times people are going to kick the ball with their left foot and what's going to happen. Today, we talked about it in the beginning as well, Loner. So if you want to go back, you can be able to go back and check that out. But I like this response by
Yeah.
Quasi saying Game Talk's been going on all week. I don't mind this. Takes the edge off. So
Yeah, because I mean, also what Loner says, it's like, oh, we're acting like we already won. This feels like a post game episode. I mean,
yeah,
we're you have to understand, like, we're not acting like we won.
yeah,
We are enjoying. We're like going through like a ride of time, dude. Like we're going back to like we've all been on this journey. Everybody that's been in this fan fest. So shout out to Chris for this fan fest because it has been going absolutely amazing.
yeah.
Like
Thank you,
everybody
man.
that's been on this journey has been with this club since literally like almost the beginning of time. And yeah, and shout out to Peter Brown and Uncle Ed for literally like harassing all those people for trying to get this club going. And it's like we're just going through time because this is going to be a new chapter in our history as a club, as fans. And so we're just enjoying and going through memory lane, like, you know, just, you know, going through what it was like before, you know, all this new stuff is happening. Now we're having Miami Freedom Park. Now we're in the MLS Cup finals.
Yeah,
Something that I would never thought. If you asked me this 2-3 years ago, I was like, you guys are crazy. I mean,
yeah.
playoffs are good
It's
for me.
wild.
But yeah, just wanted to say that too.
Well, and Loner, I just want to say, and we appreciate all opinions, all
Oh yeah,
criticism,
1000%.
positive and negative. It's totally fine.
No bad blood.
But again, this is again sending off the last day in the
Mhm.
stadium. I mean,
Mhm.
next year there'll be like other tournaments and stuff, but for the
Yeah.
most part, you know, this is the most important game in the history of Inter Miami. Before I let you go, Matt, what's
Mhm.
your prediction for today's game?
The prediction for today's game, guys, I'm really hoping it's a really entertaining one for all the neutrals out there as well. I want to hopefully see a 3-3 game. I'm hoping for a 3-3 game, tied, goes to extra time, or even it's 2-2 and in regular time, then it goes 3-3 in overtime, and
Yeah.
then hopefully we win it in penalty kicks. I'm really, really hoping. I think that would be the most like dramatic final ever for the last ever game in this stadium, for the most historic game in our club. I think my prediction kind of matches the energy that we need for for this game. So I think that's my prediction. What was your prediction? I don't remember your prediction.
My prediction is 4-3. And that
4-3.
Tadeo Allende scores while we're tied 3-3 in the
Hell
89th
yeah.
minute. And
Hell yeah.
that's after playing like complete garbage all game. So that's what my hope for is. So, and shout out to Kim Axel
Yeah, man.
with Super Slam here.
Fuck Canada. Hey, fuck you, buddy. Fuck Canada.
Let's put that there.
Fuck Canada.
So there's that. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Inter Miami wins 5-2 to Kim Axel. Shout out to you for the Super
Yeah,
Slam.
huge shout out.
Matt, thank you so much for being on the show with us. Thank you for taking the time this morning, and I'm happy that you and your father are going to be able to make it. I'm going with my son, and he's going to be enjoying it as well. So again, thank you so much. Let everybody know where they can find you.
Perfect. Thank you. And like I said before, Chris, thank you again for setting all this up for us and for all the viewers. This has been awesome, and it's been amazing to have met you guys in the first place earlier this year and all that fun stuff. So hopefully you enjoy this day with your son. But to catch me, guys, on SoFlo Soccer on YouTube, we do like Chris and Danny and Peter Brown and Ed and even Solana. We do a lot of soccer or Inter Miami content. We do a lot of soccer content as well. Argentina national team content. We're going to be doing a lot of content involved or revolving around the World Cup because that's coming next year. So just stay tuned for my channel if you guys are
red carpet.
Yeah, dude, it's crazy. We got a pretty crazy group compared to the others. But hey, we gotta respect the opponent. You know what I'm saying? We respect the opponent here.
Yeah.
But yeah, we do a bunch of that content on my channel. So if you're interested in that sort of thing, feel free to check it out. Chris, thank you again, brother, for this. This has been awesome.
Yeah, man. Thank you for coming on so early and in short notice. Much appreciated. And I'll see you at the stadium.
I'll see you at the stadium. Bye, guys. Everybody enjoy the game.
All right. Later, brother.
All right. Later.
All right, guys. So again, we're still with our guest fest. But we have one more guest. Okay. Now, like I told you guys, we've been having on guests that we've had on a little more recently. But then we're going to have a guest that we haven't had on in quite some time. Now, this guest is very important because they were our first guest on the podcast. Okay. And I'm going to just let this marinate a little bit, see if the chat wants to take a guess who we're going to have on here. Just to see if any of you actually, for those of you OGs that were chilling with us here in the chat, see if any of you guys remember who our first guest was, because we're going to bring him on in just a couple seconds. Now, this person we had on also is a friend of ours. We both have mutual friends. They were part of the supporter group Vice City, and they've been supporting this Inter Miami team since the beginning. Okay. And one thing I love about the fandom here in this community is that there's so many people that have actually been supporting this team since the inception, since the beginning. So that makes a big difference. I think that makes a big difference. I think that gives a lot of you guys who just jumped on because Messi is your favorite player, and which is granted, that's fine. But I think it's nice to be able to take a dive into understanding a little bit about the fandom beforehand. I think it's very insightful. I see some of you guys in the comments are finding this a little insightful and fun and stuff like that. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and bring on Calypso from La Ventanita podcast. Now, Calypso was, like I said, one of our first guests on the podcast. Calypso, how you been, man?
What's up, everybody?
Yeah,
How's
man.
everybody doing?
Good, bro.
I'm doing great. I could barely sleep last night, but I'm like a kid right before Disney World. But yeah, I'm doing good. I'm happy. I'm ready. I'm excited. I got my gear ready. I got my jersey picked out for the game later, and I'm ready to win a championship. Finally.
That's right, because you usually post fit of the day. So I'm wondering, you got to put that out there on social media pretty soon, what the fit of the day is going to be.
I actually let you know right now. It's gonna be. I have it like way over in my closet. I have the original because I collect jerseys, so I have the original inaugural jersey that I'm gonna wear today, the white one.
Oh, you're talking about the wet T-shirt jersey?
Yeah, the wet T-shirt one. Yeah, because I love. If people don't know, I love to collect jerseys. I have almost every single Inter Miami jersey so far. This is jersey from last. This is the Campana jersey I have.
Nice.
Oh
no, man.
Same. I got this because he scored that first goal against Orlando in that 5-0. So I was like, I'm getting that Campana jersey. So yeah, I'm gonna wear the OG the wet T-shirt jersey today. My friend picked it out for me. But yeah, I won't be actually like inside. Yeah, appreciate it, Lauder. I won't be actually inside because I couldn't get tickets, but I will be at the game. I'll be outside hanging out with Siege, so I will be there.
Okay,
be there. I have to be there to celebrate. I'll be heading over there pretty much right after this. I'm gonna head straight to the stadium, so I'll be there early and as soon as I can go help out Siege and everything. And yeah, I'm excited. I can't wait.
Well, the good thing is that in terms of like the parking lot, apparently they're gonna open the parking lot at 11 o'clock in the morning.
Okay.
And shout out to Pedri Potter says, "Let's go! Finally, a black brother on the IMCF podcast." About time. Well, Pedri, if you were with us from the beginning, you would have seen him as our first guest.
Yeah.
Okay.
Me and Bernie back here back in the day. Yeah. Shout out to Bernie.
Shout out to Bernie. Yeah, man.
I think he's gonna be out there too. I'm pretty sure he's gonna be out there.
I was gonna ask you if Bernie was gonna be out there, dude.
I'm pretty sure he said, I'll double check the group chat, but I'm pretty sure he said he's gonna be there.
Yeah, I got a plan to play ball with that guy. Last time we went to play basketball with him, it was fun times, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Fun times. Well, I want to ask you, Philip. So real quick, I guess we've been asking guests throughout the show what their first experience was like, and then what your best and worst experience has been, because this is going to be the last game at Drive Pink, Lockhart, Inter Miami Stadium, Chase Pink. So kind of tell us what your first experience was like at the stadium, representing the Inter Miami team.
So at the stadium, I remember even seeing the stadium for the first time. I was so excited to finally have a team back in MLS. I was a fan of the Fusion back in the day. I had a poster of Valderrama on my poster.
Nice.
Back when I first moved to the States. That was like in the late 90s, early 2000s. So, I've been wanting an MLS team ever since we lost the Fusion back in 2021, I believe it was. So, and I even went back and I found old tweets of mine of me talking about Inter Miami back in 2013. I don't know if you saw it. I posted it last night. Like wanting Inter Miami and wanting them to be called Inter Miami back in 2013.
Oh,
so,
you were cooking.
Yeah, I was like, they have to be called Inter Miami. It's the only logical thing. So I kind of already predicted it, or at least hoped that it would be called Inter Miami, and I was ready. And growing up a Manchester United fan, I've always revered David Beckham, and I was like the fact that David Beckham, a guy that played as a legend at my other team, Manchester United, brought a team here, and now we're about to win a championship. Like I legit don't believe, even going through this whole playoffs, I'm like, there's no way we make it all the way. There's no way we beat this team. There's no way we beat Cincinnati. There's no way we destroy Nashville again, which we always do. So it was like I was like, this can't be happening. We're really gonna win this. But like last night, I was like, yeah, we're gonna win this. We're actually gonna do it. Like we're here. We've been in the craziest form we've ever been in. This is the best form we've ever been in.
Yeah, ever
in our 5-6 years.
It's the perfect timing.
It's the perfect timing. We're striking at and this is what happens a lot in playoffs. That a lot of people of European soccer don't understand. It's like playoffs are all about getting hot at the exact right time, and you have to be right there. And the way they've been playing after that second Nashville game, like. And this is gonna sound arrogant, but like, who stops us? Because I know Vancouver's a great team. Vancouver's a fantastic team.
Yes.
But I'm looking at the way we're playing. It's like we demolished New York. We demolished Cincinnati, who demolished us twice, home and away. And then Evander didn't show up, and Denke didn't show up, and all these other guys.
Brenner didn't show up. Like it was.
Brenner didn't show up. It was a disaster. So it's like, okay. I'm trying to think of like I've always been like, what can go wrong? It's always been the defense. It's always been Suarez losing his head. It's always been every once in a blue moon, Messi has been missing, like that one game against Cincinnati or the game against Seattle away. But after that Seattle game, something just clicked, and we've just been on a roll. And I can't believe it. As far as that was one of my first memories, just going to the stadium, just seeing the stadium being built.
Yeah,
like especially on that. People say, "Oh, we're just brand new thing," but we built that on the site of Lockhart, where we had so much. People like to say we don't have history, but we do.
We just had Peter Brown and Uncle Ed on that. They used to do the vlogs for the new build.
I would watch those every Monday. He would post those. I would watch that every Monday religiously. I would drive by, I'm like, oh my God, we finally stand right on the same side as Lockhart, where we had the Fort Lauderdale Strikers, where we had the Miami Fusion. Like, people don't realize that's such a historic site of South Florida soccer. And I'm glad we're gonna have our other stadium, but that's a historic spot right there of a lot of soccer that has happened in South Florida. And now we have this new amazing place that's gonna be just as big and just as amazing, and hopefully have just as many historic moments as the Lockhart Chase Stadium, Dry Pink Stadium did.
Yeah. And what do you think was your best experience and your worst experience? Because Danny mentioned also his worst experience at Dry Pink Stadium was the game that we lost against the Houston Dynamo. The Houston Dynamo game sucked. As far as like best experience worst experience logistically, we used to get coffee at the Cafe Bustelo, and now they cut it off.
That's weird.
I don't know about what Danny is saying, that the sink water is too hot. I mean, Solana says that you could just turn it, but you can't turn it. It's just one of those like middle school sinks that you got to press down the button. What do you think was your best experience and your worst experience at the stadium?
My worst experience, I would say last year's elimination for Atlanta, because that was so, especially that last goal where I forgot who it was just laying on the floor, and like half the team just stopped playing, and Atlanta was like,
that was Aviles that ended up laying on the floor.
That to me was the worst, because like that was so preventable. We had them on the ropes, and we could have finished them off, and we got knocked out in the first round after winning the Supporter Shield. As far as the best experience, I would have to say the 5-0 against Orlando, because I was actually worried about that game that morning.
That was the Campana start off goal.
Yeah. And that's one reason why I got this jersey, is like, because I was legit worried. I was like, because Orlando was really hot and we weren't doing so well at the time. So I was like, I don't know about this game, and I was worried. I was like, man, I don't know about this game. And then we just destroyed them. So to me, that was the best experience. And a second runner-up would probably be the game where we were down 1-0 at halftime against Red Bull, and we ended up winning 6-2. We came back and won 6. We got 6 goals. Messi got a goal and 5 assists. That
was on my birthday.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah,
my birthday's in January, so I don't get MLS games on my birthday. But yeah.
Well, I mean, I was about to say maybe next one when the calendar changes, but not really, because the whole winter break.
Yeah, my birthday is in January 9th, so it's the second week of January. So yeah, no MLS games on my birthday though.
Well, I know Danny he's in the backstage right now because he was going to come back on at some point. He's probably like seething right now because you have a Campana jersey, because my son has a Campana jersey, and he says that I'm an idiot for allowing my son to be a fan of Campana. And
he was good for us.
Danny,
and I plan on. I'm not just gonna just get Messi jerseys. I'm gonna get a bunch of. I have a Frey jersey. I have a DeAndre Yedlin jersey. I have a Messi jersey, so I'm not gonna get just Messi jerseys. I'm gonna get everybody's jerseys.
Yeah, no, that's fantastic, dude. I think that's so you got plans to be at the stadium today. You're gonna help out Siege to set up.
Yeah, I think they're setting up across the street.
Oh, nice. Okay,
so, that's all I'll be. As soon as I can get down there, I'm gonna be over there. But I'll probably just be hanging around, just walking around, doing stuff. But unfortunately, I can't go into the game. But hey, we get to celebrate anyways, so not like it matters.
That's great, man. Well, I mean, look, I'll see if I can be able to go hang out and catch you out there at the stadium. I'm gonna be going for sure. Calypso, thank you so much for coming on the show with us. It really is appreciated.
Anytime, guys. Anytime.
Let everybody know where they can be able to find you guys. Because look, there's a lot of people that watch our show that they follow you and you post a lot of really cool content.
Yeah, some people talking about the Allende,
Yes,
the Allende memes.
memes.
Hey, the way, like I said, Ventania CF, I'm not really like a content. I don't consider myself a content creator. So I'm just a guy that talks shit. I'm a poster. I'm a shit poster. I love my team. I talk shit. So yeah, the stuff with Allende, hey, I call it like I see it. If you're playing shit, I will post memes about it. And if I'm wrong, hey, I was wrong. And I was wrong about Allende. So I have no problem eating crow like that. If that brings a championship, hey, Allende, prove me wrong, man. I said the same thing about Suarez last year.
Yeah.
And same thing about Allende this. Yeah, I call it down the middle. I call it like I see it. If you want to follow me for my soccer opinions, you can follow me at Ventania CF. My personal account is Calypso GLHF. If you want to hear me talk about video games and wrestling and just random stuff, I just post whatever I feel like. But yeah, that's where you can find me.
Well, and I forgot to ask. Sorry, Loner. Your prediction.
Oh, yes.
So give me what you think the scoreline is going to be.
I heard you guys' predictions earlier. I take heart medications. I can't do that, man. I can't do the 3-3 with the penalties. Give me a 3-1. Give me a 3. Give me a. We're gonna concede a goal. Give me, and this is how I'm gonna see it. Messi scores. Messi scores. Then Berhalter scores. Messi scores again. Allende scores and then finishes it off. That's how I see it going.
That's a nice ending. I like that ending. And I'm just gonna before I let you go real quick, Calypso, I'm gonna put on here. Pedri's typically a negative commenter, but I love this comment. He says INCF should have set up a fan zone with a big screen and all outside the stadium. I think if they would have done that,
I don't think they would have the space to do so, though.
I mean, I think that they could have been able to do it right outside the green lot. I think outside the green lot.
Maybe outside the green lot, but they're supposed to use that. Like every time I ask about the green lot, they tell me that, oh no, it's full, it's full. They have all the tickets. And I'm like, that shit's never full, bro. Like, they tell me that all because I'm constantly bugging them like parking in the green line. They're like, nah, they're full. All like at the beginning of the season, they're like, oh, all green lots are sold out. I'm like, oh, fuck out of here, dude.
Yeah,
that's just never full.
Well, Calypso, again, thank you so much for coming on to the show with us.
Anytime, guys.
So we could send off Dry Pink Stadium into the abyss.
Yes.
But of course, before that, we have a big game today, and hopefully, I could be able to see you out there, Calypso.
Yeah, shout out. I hope to see you out there too, man. Let's celebrate.
Yeah, man, no doubt. Thank you so much for heading on with us.
Thank you. Take it, everybody. Vamos.
All right. So that brings us perfectly to the end.
You ready?
It's been, listen, I'm ready, dude. I mean, we talked a little bit about the breakdown in the beginning. You and Solano went over that. You know, we talked a little bit about the stadium. And, dude, I'm ready.
I'm ready also. Again, I've been hyped all morning. I'm about to head out right now. So I just came over here to say, have a good day. Chris, I know you're going to be there a lot earlier than I am. So shout out to you. Enjoy the pregame. Take in the stadium. Everybody that watched us, I hope you enjoyed it. We just wanted to give you some extra content right before you're on your way to the game. And that's it. We're ready to go. Hopefully this is the last time we come on this podcast and say that Inter Miami has never won an MLS Cup. Hopefully today we put that first star, which is the biggest star. Because I'm sure that there's a lot of people that are maybe watching Inter Miami, but like it is not their first team. And they probably never got a chance to experience their team win their first ever title. We might experience that today, which is a big deal for us. So shout out to everybody. Appreciate everybody joining us. And that's it, man. Chris, thank you for holding it down, even though I heard you cuss me out a couple times throughout the show. Whatever. I think that everybody enjoyed it. The loner enjoyed it. And if you guys are catching this later and you're on the way to the tailgates, to the stadium, big day, no matter how it ends up. Enjoy the game. And we will be back today for a post game like we always do. But we're not sure exactly at what time, especially if they win. Because if they win, it might be a late start. So make sure you have your notification bells on. But we were going to have a show tonight at some point. But we are going to be taking in the stadium, the game, the atmosphere, and everything that comes with it. Any final words, Chris?
No, man, I'm ready to go. Ready to rock and roll. Let's finish this, and then let's get to the game.
Yeah. And emotion. I'm excited. Again, this is I know some people are here like, oh, Messi leaves, nobody's gonna watch this shit. I'll still be here. This is my team, so it means a lot to me. So, and hopefully to my kids in the future. So this is a big deal for me. So I'm excited for today, and let's go. Let's get this dub. Let's get this star, and I'm excited. Chris, thank you. Everybody in the chat from top to the bottom. If you were here at 7 a.m. or you just logging on now, thank you guys. And if you're watching this later on, thank you guys. Hopefully we have a fun celebration today. Hopefully we win. And we have a fun show tonight. And if we lose, we'll still have a good time somehow, but it'll be a little more somber. But regardless, we're going to be on tonight, hanging out with you guys. All right, and that's it. So if you're listening on audio, actually, let's not even put this on audio. I don't think. Well, we'll see. Should we put this on audio?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's okay. Sure.
Okay. Put this on audio. So if you're listening on audio, 5 stars and a comment. If you're watching YouTube, like and subscribe. And as always, you guys are the best part of the show. We appreciate you. This show wouldn't have been as fun without the chat. And SemXO, I really appreciate you. I know you've been really supporting us, and shout out to everybody. So until later today, hopefully we are champs. Until the next one, have a good one.